what's crazy? The biggest reason why Ethereum is ripping this cycle isn't even Ethereum. We all see that Ethereum has been putting on a performance this year that's hard to ignore. Not because the price chart flew past $4,000 and climbed up 3x since its low point in March, but the way it's moving and evolving feels kind of different. Even though this is a project that's been around for a long time and lived through a few market cycles, it's still a major force in the crypto space. And what we're seeing unfold right now reminds us of why Ethereum is number 2. In many ways, it's even outdoing Bitcoin. We're seeing a major shift in institutional interest. Just days ago, US spot Ethereum ETFs posted a record $1 billion in single-day net inflows. BlackRock's ETHA brought in just over $600 million of this total, and Fidelity's FETH contributed almost $300 million. Together, these Ethereum ETFs outperform Bitcoin spot ETFs by 5-fold, and we're still seeing this gap in value. We already knew that Ethereum is dominating the DeFi space, but the rate of growth for on-chain value is increasing rapidly as we speak. There's now about $100 billion in funds locked up in the Ethereum network, accounting for 60% of all DeFi TVL. And this makes sense given that on-chain activity is starting to ramp up again. Ethereum's daily transaction count is pushing towards 2 million a day. This is the range where we saw a peak in the 2021 run. And with the way things are going and this whole concept of a shift into Ethereum to kick off an altcoin rally, these numbers will continue to run higher. So I guess we should have been listening to Eric Trump, right? But here's the thing. This Ethereum boom we're seeing right now isn't just because the price chart looks good or because institutions are pouring in. Ethereum itself has evolved over time, like the Denkin upgrade last year that actually reduced network fees pretty significantly. And this was a major problem for Ethereum users. But even with all that progress so far, Ethereum's main chain isn't ready to handle the scale of global adoption on its own. If every DeFi trade, NFT mint, and on-chain transfer stayed on the Layer 1 blockchain, gas fees would shoot right back up due to network congestion. And this is a major problem if we're expecting more activity growth through this cycle. That's why the real engine behind Ethereum's momentum right now is the network of Layer 2 solutions built on top of it. Arbitrum, Optimism, Base, ZK Sync, Polygon. These aren't just scaling tools anymore. They've become the primary gateway into Ethereum for millions of users. And here's the part most people miss. Every time you hear about Ethereum's surging activity, most of that volume isn't actually happening on the main chain directly. It's being pushed through Layer 2 frameworks, settled back to Ethereum in batches, and quietly redefining what it means to use Ethereum in 2025. ETH Layer 2s are also responsible for securing more than $55 billion in total value today. So when we talk about Ethereum taking the lead now in this cycle, it's not really just about Ethereum alone. It's an ecosystem where the real power is in the layer built on top of it. So if this is where the real growth is happening, the question becomes, which of these Layer 2s are positioned to dominate this cycle? And more importantly, how can being early to the right ones put you in front of opportunities that most people won't even recognize until it's too late? We'll go over this and more in today's video. Speaking of opportunities, as the market heats up, there are certain trading opportunities that I just don't want to miss. And that's why I rotated BTCC into my list of exchanges to use for trading. BTCC is officially licensed in the US, Canada, Europe, and more. There's no VPN or KYC required. Like I always say, it's good to have multiple exchanges ready to use, especially because each of them have their own special bonuses for new signups. If you use the link down below, you'll get a 10% deposit bonus and the chance to earn up to $10,000 in rewards. Check it out and let me know what you guys think of this platform. And if you're curious about trading opportunities and strategies, then check out the FireHustle Discord group. We've got a community there that's actively discussing both spot and futures trading setups, along with real-time market insights, major updates to be aware of, and more. I myself use this Discord group as a way to stay on top of things in crypto. Link is down below if you're interested in learning more. And as always, none of what I share is financial advice. Please make sure you do your own research before making any financial decisions. Now hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on post notifications, and let's get started. So when you step back and really look at Ethereum's growth, it's impossible to ignore just how much of it is being fueled by its Layer 2 networks. For most users today, interacting with Ethereum doesn't mean just dealing directly with the Layer 1 chain. A great example to consider right now is the Base chain. Coinbase launched this layer 2 solution in 2023, and it quickly became one of the fastest growing ecosystems in the space. It's designed to be simple for everyday users, but also powerful enough to attract serious builders. And the numbers say everything. Base is now handling around 10 million transactions daily, with more than 1 million daily active addresses transacting on chain, and almost $5 billion locked in its ecosystem. And according to DeFi Llama, this is currently the leading ETH Layer 2 ecosystem when it comes to DeFi TVL. It's actually right behind some of the top Layer 1 projects. Major DeFi protocols like PancakeSwap have also expanded onto Base, pushing monthly trading volume to new all-time highs. Beyond DeFi, Base is also making waves in other areas of crypto. For example, it's involved in the creator space through tools like Zora. We just saw how Zora helped Base outperform Solana in new token deployments by over double at one point. The explosive growth that this ecosystem has seen this year was fueled by a wave of new projects, retail users, and institutional liquidity. And overall, Base is showing that a Layer 2 can build its own identity while helping drive Ethereum toward the $1 trillion L2 valuation from analysts like VanEck. And while all of this attention is on the Base ecosystem, Arbitrum is actually leading the way in terms of on-chain stats. Arbitrum alone is holding over $20 billion in total value according to L2B. This is more than 3 times what Optimism holds. And right now, Arbitrum is ahead of Base in key areas like stablecoin liquidity. It's processing over 3 million transactions a day with close to 400,000 active addresses, powering everything from high-frequency DeFi trades to new on-chain applications. One key area of growth for this ecosystem is the tokenization space. RWA TVL surpassed $300 million this year, driven by tokenized bonds, equities, and treasuries from institutional players. This is a signal for Arbitrum's growing role in bridging traditional finance with blockchain. Now, while the Base chain doesn't have its own native asset, Arbitrum does. And since its launch, the Arbitrum token has been on a strong downtrend. But this is still a top 50 cryptocurrency. And with Ethereum slowly grabbing attention this cycle, this creates space for Layer 2s to shine. At the end of the day, it's the Layer 2s that will handle this massive load of user activity. And according to on-chain stats, it's already happening. I showed you how Arbitrum is building its reputation up in the RWA tokenization space. The truth is, another Ethereum Layer 2 is actually far ahead in this sector. ZK Sync currently hosts over $2 billion worth of real-world assets on-chain, which puts it ahead of other big players like Aptos and Solana. This is an indication that zero-knowledge rollups aren't just a flashy technical upgrade for Ethereum. This is real tech capturing meaningful market share in one of the fastest-growing sectors in crypto. The network has been expanding quickly, with hundreds of projects launching or migrating each month, including DeFi platforms like SyncSwap and Koi Finance. The network's focus on privacy, scalability, and instant transaction finality makes it a strong contender for both institutional and retail adoption as the cycle plays out. And just like Arbitrum, ZK Sync has its own native asset called ZK. Performance-wise, this hasn't been doing too well after launching last year and going through a rally in December. But again, the majority of people haven't realized that Ethereum's success will spill over onto its Layer 2s. These projects are unlocking utility in ways that Ethereum alone can't handle. To me, Ethereum and all of its Layer 2s should be seen together as a single large ecosystem. Now, these are just a few of the leading Layer 2s on Ethereum in a nutshell, but what's the point of knowing about these? How is this going to help us get ahead of the curve? Well, just knowing that Ethereum heavily relies on these Layer 2s is critical. And the next big thing to realize is that each of these projects supports an entire separate ecosystem. Remember how Solana caught a ton of attention? And there was an explosion of projects and tokens on Solana with record-breaking transaction counts and an insane volume of trading going on. This is the type of spillover that can happen for ecosystems that catch enough attention. So let's think about this. The focus is slowly being shifted back to Ethereum, and we know that most of the activity is taking place on these Layer 2s. And if you're early to these ecosystems, you're not just watching the growth, you're positioned to take part in it before the masses even notice. That means getting in on new project launches before they hit the bigger exchanges, securing early token allocations, participating in airdrops, and exploring protocols while competition is still low. These are the kinds of opportunities that can disappear overnight once retail catches on. Again, just think about what happened with the whole Solana season. Those that were early got a taste of the token frenzy. And right now, we're heading into the later stages of this bull cycle, which means there's more action waiting for us. Are any of you already participating in Ethereum Layer 2s? What are your favorite ecosystems right now? Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. And I can follow up with deeper dives into these ecosystems. As always, none of what I share is financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research before making any investment decisions. It pays to fully understand the projects you're getting into. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons and turn on post notifications. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.